everybody. Thanks for joining me. Today we're going to talk a little bit about Hendrix style chord progression and practice routine that will really help you to kind of understand what Hendrix was all about as far as his style, where he's playing chords and a little bit of lead with it. It will also help you remember or get better at the major triad shapes. There's three major shapes when you're playing triads on the D, G, and the B string, and they're probably the most popular strings that you would play the triads on. Let's get started. We're doing this in the key of A major, and there are three chords to this progression. There is the A major, which is the one chord, and the 4 chord is a D major, and the 5 chord is an E major. So they're all major, and it's a 1-4-5 progression. Our A major triad shape is going to be this stepped shape, right? It's on, again, the D, the G, and the B string. Those are the only strings that we're going to play these chords on. You've got your ring finger on the D string at the 7th fret. That's your A. The root is on the D string, right? Then you've got your middle finger on the 6th fret of the G string. And then you've got your index finger on the 5th fret of the B string. So that's your A chord. It's very similar to, but it's just a 3-string chord, right? Now, what Hendrix liked to do a lot is he used his thumb all the time for bass notes. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our thumb, we're going to bring it over top of the neck. I know that might take some practice, and if you've got short thumbs, it might take a little extra practice, but bring it over the top, and we're going to put it on the 5th fret of the low E string. That's A. That's an A note. So you've got your A bass note and then your A major chord. So maybe just strum through that a little bit and make sure you can get all those notes pretty cleanly. The nice thing about this particular shape and the A major chord in general is that I could hit all these strings and they're all part of the A major chord. So we don't have to, so at least with this chord, we don't have to worry about muting strings. All right. Now, the next chord is going to be a D major, and that's going to be just a simple bar chord across the 7th fret, and it's on the D, the G, and the B string. So now this is the triad shape where your root note, your D note, is going to be in the middle. It's going to be on the G string. Your root note is in the middle of those 3 strings. So now you've got, that's A major and then D major, okay? Now we're also going to play a bass note with this D major, and we're going to play it again with our thumb. We're going to bring it over. This time we're going to fret the 7th fret on the low E string. Now that's a B. It's not really part of the D major chord, but we can still use it as a bass note and it'll give it a little bit more flavor. This one, you want to try to just hit these 3 strings. Okay, so now we've got our A major and then our D major. And you can just go back and forth until you get that under your fingers. All right, now, so that's our 1 chord and our 4 chord. Our 5 chord in the A major key, or A major chord scale, our 5 chord is going to be an E major. An E major utilizes the 3rd shape, or the one, at least the one that we're going to play, utilizes the 3rd shape of these triads on these 3 strings. You've got your ring finger on the 6th fret of the D string. You've got your index finger on the G string on the 4th fret. You've got your middle finger on the 5th fret of the B string. That's another popular shape, popular triad shape. Okay, so now this time we're not going to use our thumb. Our bass note we want to use is going to be the low E, which is your open 6th string, right? So you've got all right, so now you've got A major, D major with that B bass note, and then E. And then we're going to go back to A major. So all together, you've got your 1, 4, 5, and then back to the 1 again. So. And then you can repeat it. So now we've got our chord progression. What we want to do is we want to add a little bit of flair, just like Hendrix did. So the first one, let's look at our A major. We're on the 5th fret, right? We've got our thumb on the 5th fret. What we can do is on the 7th and 9th fret, we can utilize these 6 notes, right? 7, 9, 7, 9, 7, 9. They're all part of the A major pentatonic scale. So what you could do is you can strum your A major, and then you could just play any combination of these 6 notes. What I was doing in the beginning, I like to kind of slide up to that 9th fret. Okay? And you can just play it over again. Or you can mix it up a little bit, right? That's another thing that Hendrix did a lot. He did those double stops, right? So you've got these 6 notes that you can use. So that would be 2 fingers on the 7th fret, and you're going to hammer onto the 8th fret on the A string. That's a double stop with a hammer on. And then you could shift everything down 1 string. So something like that, right? You can play around with those 6 notes and play them in any combination or any style you want. Now our D major scale, our D major chord, our next chord is the D major. Now what can we do with that, right? We've got, what I like to do is these 2 strings on the 5 and the 7, you've got these 4 notes to mess around with. So just think of it as 2 frets back would be where your index goes. Combine those 2 chords with the fills. D major. Now from here is where we go into our 5 chord, our E major. And that's our bass note again is the open E on the 6th string, right? So and then from here our fill could just be the notes that we're already fretting plus an extra one, right? So we can go with our ring finger, keep it there. Keep our index finger where it is on the 4th fret. And now this time, play the 6th fret on the G string. and then the 5th fret on the B string. So you've got those 4 notes to mess around with. Something like that, right? So I would go, and then back to the A. And the second time around when you're playing the A chord, I like to drop my pinky down on the 7th fret. Just to give it a little bit more flavor. So one more time all the way through. You got A major. And you can keep doing that. You can even change up the strum a little bit, right? Instead of going and letting it ring out, you can just go. All right, so change it up, do whatever you want as far as making it creative, making it fun. Part of practice should be fun, right? If practice is boring, we're not going to want to do it. All right, you guys are awesome. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.